Welcome to my channel. This is a reading for Aquarius for May 18th to the end of May. Sorry for delay on getting the readings out. Life just gets busy, so I'm just trying to manage it best I can. So I just wanted to quickly, if you're new to my channel, give you a quick rundown of how I do my readings. So first off, the readings are more specific to career and finance, although I do general energy surrounding it because I do feel that relationships, whether it's personal or otherwise, do tend to overlap. I don't go into it in a lot of detail. It's just more of a touch on the situation. I do pull some clarifiers. So this portion of the reading is actually in the center for career and finance. So the cards above are basically those that are related to the actual main part of the reading, the career and finance, with clarifiers below. So those are all the clarifiers. I know not all of it is completely visible, just doing the best with the equipment that I have. So I'm just pulling it over just so you get a little bit more of a view of the far end cards here. And then I'll pull it to the other side so that you see I have some other cards over here as well that relate to general energies toward the back. And then I've got several different decks here, so I'll maybe go through that as well. So at the very, very top here, the flow card is actually the Book of Rune cards, and that one is by, I believe it was Ralph Bloom. And then I also have the Archangel Power deck tarot, and that's Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. So that would be these ones here. Sorry, I'll pull those forward. That's New Beginnings, Change Your Life, and the High Priestess. So those are the advice cards that I've pulled, and that would again be Archangel Tower, Power Tarot cards. And then I've got Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. So that one is, sorry, not that one here. It's the Spirit Whisperer at the back there. So a little far for me to reach, but the Spirit Whisperer is the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms, and that one is by Colette Baron-Reid. I've got the Enchanted Map, which are the Bone Collector and the Spark card. I'll just pull those forward. So again, that one is the Enchanted Map, and that's by Colette Baron-Reid. And then I'm also using the numerology deck, which is Manifestation and Leadership. So that's these cards here at the back, and that's Michelle Buchanan. And then I also am using the Fortune Reading cards, which is by Sharina Starr, and those are the ones at the far back. Again, these ones are all just general energies to the far left side here. And then with just the three cards, as I said, for advice. But I'm also using the Steampunk deck, and that would be these cards here, which are down at the bottom, not overly visible, but it's the Emperor and the Ten of Wands. And that one is actually a clarifier. And then I've got the Tower with two clarifiers, and the Wheel of Fortune is the clarifier, as well as the Six of Wands. So those ones were just additional information. Sometimes I find there's a repeat in some of the decks, and that just makes it more impactful for me. And just to let you know areas that you should maybe focus a little bit more on for the reading, especially if it's, repetitive in the reading. So again, that was the Steampunk Tarot, and that one is by Ali Fell. The illustrations and Barbara Moore. I'm also using the Fortune Telling deck, which is in the far corner. It's just really just regular cards for that. But that is more of a gypsy deck. It's something new that I'm just adding in here as well. So that one is by Jonathan D. And just the usual Rider-Waite deck that I use. And just to get into it. So I'll just quickly mention, the overall gist of the reading is that I felt there was some kind of celebration going on that relates to some kind of a marriage, and not just because of the back cards here with celebration and marriage. But what I did feel was relevant is that there was some kind of conflict in around this wedding, even though I feel it's actually related to a soul mate situation. There is even a hint of some conflict that's either related to self-doubt, or maybe somebody is just worrying that there's a third-party situation. I don't know that that is 100% the case. I mean, it just, there's just a, maybe for a select few of you that could be relevant. But I did feel that it was related to an older man or older woman, more of an older man that's coming through with a younger woman, that were getting married, or perhaps there was some other suggestion that this is the parents that are coming through that are perhaps overtaking this celebration, whether it is a marriage celebration or not. There's some kind of heavy influence with an authority or a father figure and a mother figure that are coming through here as well. And so again, that third party may not be third party as in cheating third party. It could just be third party interference, meaning somebody else is coming through in the reading to, dominate the wedding plans or interfere with something that's related to the money aspect. So I did feel there was some issues around that in terms of the money, just because we have there's a couple of fives in this reading, which, definitely indicates that there's some trouble there in that department. And it's also starting off with a bit of a battle here around the money. So, I mean, there's a few different dimensions here that I can take this in. So, and again, it's not one way that's going to resonate for all. It is a general reading. So, just don't try to force it. Just whatever seems relevant for you. I will try to tap into as many different elements of it as I can so that it has some bearing for you. But I just wanted to quickly mention some of the cards I just find kind of interesting, like even with the one deck that I'm using here with the numerology deck. This is actually, I just thought it was kind of interesting because I don't think a lot of people know what this is. This is actually the Merkaba. And this is kind of an interesting deck because when you have symbols, I'm all about symbols, and I do feel that when you have a symbol that resonates for you or something that's appealing to you, there's a reason that you're drawn to it, and it might be something you want to, add into your, your day-to-day meditations or connect with on some level. First off, the Merkaba is, as you can see, there's several triangles, and there's triangles of power and spirituality and balance. It has several different meanings throughout history, but it's basically representing a three-dimensional energy field that is associated with your body. So it is where we have the ability to ascend and become more aware of a higher level of consciousness because we're tapping into this. But, the ancient translation of the Merkaba is light, spirit, body. So Mer is the light, Ka is spirit, and Ba is body. So that triad helps to protect you. It is also helping you to access higher dimensions. It's believed that we all have this Merkaba energy, but sometimes it lays dormant when we're disconnected from parts of ourselves. And it is associated with the chakras, and how we energize our body is through these chakras, which, I believe there's 12 that, could be wrong on some of that, but I know that there is normally, we've got, the heart chakra and the sacral chakra and all the rest of it, but there's also 6 above, and so it goes beyond the span of the immediate body is what I was trying to get at. But anyway, the Merkaba actually has a spinning energy, and so when it is activated, it helps to raise your vibration, and it does help you to access your own personal power and to feel more multi-dimensional, so to speak, because you're linked in electromagnetically. So it's just something that you might want to review or do some research on. I just thought it was kind of interesting when I came across it. But it is about that light field that grows around your body, and it helps to enter or bring in new pathways of light into your body through these chakras. And when it is activated, it can help you to, in some ways, they say it helps to metabolize cells and create stronger healing capabilities and help you to get rid of old constructs or beliefs or patterns or things that you accumulated over lifetimes that you can now break free of, and it helps to activate DNA. I should just mention, though, with Merkaba, it is something that there is a little bit of ambiguity around. Not everybody agrees entirely on its interpretation, but it is something that was noted in the Bible as a chariot, as a vehicle. It's also been noted even with the tarot. It's comparable to the chariot because it is a vehicle. So it actually has a lot of different meanings, but it's just something to explore anyway if you are into the spirituality of tarot. I just thought this might be something worth mentioning. So anyway, getting into the reading itself, I just wanted to again mention that I did feel that there was a lot of there's some challenges here, even though it should be a happy time, and you're definitely, for again, this doesn't have to be yourself, but it could be some representative of somebody who's very close to you that you are somehow involved with a celebration or a marriage or a coupleship or a unity with a business or some kind of situation where there is a partnering of sorts anyway. So I'm going to take it in as many directions as I can, despite the meanings on the cards here with marriage and celebration. And again, it could very well be that it's more specific to that, but I just want to give you a little broader parameter. So, because as I say, it's not going to resonate for everybody. Not everybody's getting married in the month of May 18th to the end of May. And again, I should just clarify, even with the readings, I am not of the opinion that, I think that there are aspects of tarot that help direct us and guide us and let us know, give us clues as to what's coming in for certain months. I don't think that we can be 100% specific in the time frame that we are dealing with a particular issue. I think that when we are struggling with things in our life, that it often goes beyond 1 month. I mean, if we're dealing with, for example, a death or a transition or, the end of a relationship, we might struggle with it for 6 months to a year, depending on the length of a relationship or whatever it is for you. And then it comes up again, at a time when we are about to move on with someone else, or a death reminds us of something else because we've been exposed to a memory. So I think that things are always constantly a bit of a overlap and certainly a working through issues over extended periods of time. So I think there's a residual energy. What I do find with month-to-month readings is that you can start to see that there's a progression and that there is some changes beginning and that there is something to, that's noteworthy, especially when it's a card that is related to a major arcana card versus, some of the smaller minor arcana suits. So for example, like these would be minor arcana with the 5 of Wands and the 6 of Pentacles, and something that would be a major arcana would be things like the Hierophant or the High Priestess. So, and then the Emperor is above that as well. So these are cards that indicate that there's more of a stronger emotional impact or action or behavior or things around it that become more significant to the month. So just again, these are just general energies, but there's always movement. Life is always about movement. So just to keep that in mind, that there's always a residual that's carried into other months, and certainly it could come up again in 3 or 4 months after that you have another revelation about something. So just to be aware that when something is noted in a reading for that month, I am of the opinion that that there's movement in that area, but it may not all be resolved in a week or 2 week span. Okay, so anyway, That's just my blurb. Anyway, just to go back to celebrations and marriage, these again are the fortune reading cards. So celebrations, I'm just going to pull it forward. So the card itself, celebrations, you are ready to bring new and exciting things into your life. So just that, I mean, the card itself it could be relevant to the marriage, as I say, because it does follow with that card, or some kind of a new partnership in a business, a marriage of the partnership on that level. But either way, it's about reaping the rewards of your efforts over the past 12 months. So, you're getting ready to celebrate. There's networking opportunities. There's some kind of dynamic change. It could indicate some kind of potential for worldwide travel. It could be something that's done over the internet as well. But this is about decisions being made, and that you're moving forward. That's on a long-term plan. So again, because this is a long-term plan, it is not all going to happen within a week from the 18th to the end of May. So this is just that there is some form of reason to celebrate that's beginning here in May. In terms of personal relationships, it could be that you're not letting people burden you with their problems. This is your time right now. This is you being celebratory and wanting to really enjoy yourself. And so, you're looking for people around you that are willing to also, engage in that same feel-good moment. So this could also, sort of feature reunions of some sort and renewing of vows, anything along that line as well, and especially because it is associated with the marriage card following this. In terms of career and money, it could be you could be meeting up with someone who is boosting your self-esteem. So, and which could in turn bring dramatic changes to your finances. So it could be a change in residence or job, but you're trusting your instincts here and, relying on hunches and that kind of thing. And you could gain some extra money as well on the career front with this card. So you might be looking back on time, on this time as something that was fortuitous, and you were confidently acting on what you were guided to do by following spirit, by following your intuition. So following that card is the marriage card. And again, it could be a marriage, a partnership in a business, or, on a more personal level as well. But it is a symbol of emotional fulfillment, and it could be unconditional love as well, or that you're attracting it. You could also be just attracting abundance and joy into your life at this time. But it is a key of happiness and harmony. So, and again, it's more than, celebration. It's family members. And again, it could speak to marriages or births or, engagements. And, people are looking up to you. Loved ones from the past could return as well with this card. It might be an old love that is coming in that you are considering marriage with or getting into a business with. But either way, it's about perfect unions in business or your personal life. So it is a wonderful experience. It's a new life that's beginning here. You're feeling loved and respected, and it's about loyal friendships. All of that come through with these cards. And it's about something growing. So any rifts or anything that might have, been happening in a personal relationship, all of that would be mended with cards like this. In terms of a career and money situation, it's about an exciting new partner that's coming in with business, that can be adding, success. And, you've got revitalized social activities and things that are starting to come around with this new partnership. Could even speak to a secret admirer as well. So that is just general energies for the month of May 18th to the end of May. The next cards, they're fairly straightforward here. This was the one I was talking about with the Merkaba. But that is the manifestation card and the leadership card. So manifestation is just that. It's the ability to make things happen. It might even really be the equivalent of the magic card, with the, because you're able to acknowledge the power of your mind and manifest your own desires here. So it's about you lining up with your dreams. It's about, getting your intentions straight. 8 is also a card of balance. Overcoming any obstacles, things along that line. And it's about the universe synchronizing with you and assisting you to move forward, to make things have, you know, to move things ahead so that it is a successful outcome. You also have the leadership card. So I do feel that there's a couple of different takes on the leadership card that I felt might be relevant here. So leadership card is just that. It's about you or someone else that's guiding you. But I feel this is actually you guiding something, you know, whether it's community or family or circle of friends, but you're inspiring people. Again, it could be on a relationship front, or, you know, in organizing, you know, something that's related to the wedding or celebration, or it could be on the business front where you're actually organizing and, you know, guiding the business, and you've taken on a partner. So again, with the leadership card, it's about you choosing to use your talents and rise to the top here with this. It's because you're adopting a position of authority here. So it's just somebody has a natural ability to lead. So whether it's you or someone else, it is about a successful leader that's, you know, leading alongside others, not from above others. Because when you're leading from above, it, you know, denotes an inferior position to others. And really, this type of leader is someone who works alongside others. They're quite sociable. You know, they just have a natural ability to lead. So that is, I will get to I think we'll go to the flow card. So this one is actually, the flow card is the Book of Runes card, and it's really pretty straightforward. For you, Aquarius, it's really just talking about, you know, you're standing in a position of power. You are, you know, it's just being able to evaluate and understand things emotionally, having your needs met. You know, you're able to reevaluate, reorganize, realign. You have a deep sense of knowing here. You're just flowing with things. Everything is connecting. Everything is, you know, even in a spiritual way, is starting to flow, because this is about self-transformation. And your success now lies in connecting with all of that intuitive side. And it also speaks to a sacred marriage. So again, that sacred marriage could be one of fairy tales and, you know, in dealing with, you know, traditional marriage, or it could also speak to just a happily ever after, you know, where the hero is successful in achieving whatever it is he was going after, or the heroine. So again, that's just going with the flow, basically. And the next card up would be, I think we'll go to, actually, the Spirit Whisperer in the far corner there. That one's pretty straightforward as well. It's really just about you following your intuition here with this card. So, you know, the Spirit Whisperer is about miraculous things coming through your higher senses. This is somebody who knows the right actions to take, you know, and is able to move forward inspired, because they are guided through their highest purpose. So it is a sign of inspired ideas and, actions that lead to success. So it's a good omen, this card, the Spirit Whisperer. It is about divine guidance and higher knowing. So again, it's when you are aligned and kind of I'm going to say it also speaks to that soul connection, through even a past life connection. So I even suspect this might even be relevant to the marriage card or the celebration, Aquarius, because it feels as though this could actually be a reunion with somebody who is a soulmate or someone that you've known before, and that the two of you are now reconnecting. So I would say that is actually a very relevant card. I'm going to go to the Enchanted Map card. So this one is actually the Bone Collector. And I mean, this one's maybe a little more, I don't want to say negative exactly, but it is about, you know, letting you know that you're whole and you do have everything that you need. Everything is is fully present, it's close to you, but somehow you're not seeing that. This is a card that's letting you know that you feel wounded in some way. So maybe this is a past hurt that's coming through from an old connection, but you're feeling wounded. You're feeling like there is a reminder of something that made you feel unworthy or not very courageous. You see yourself as flawed or unlovable, or you're expecting to be criticized from someone here. I don't know if it's this partnership or someone around this partnership, but there is some kind of a wound here that isn't quite healed. But it is a card of letting you know that the wounds of your past do not define you. So, and there are some other cards here that speak to, a more positive follow-up. So I wouldn't worry about that. It is just it's an emotional feeling that you're having to contend with through the late month of May. The spark card is about that you are a clear channel for divine creativity. So it's just about a spark of creativity, optimism, and hope that's coming through here. So again, it follows the bone collector. So I feel that whatever issues that you had, this is something that's letting you know that you are aligned with inspiration, and that beauty and that creative part of you is now perfectly aligned to spark. It's something that is allowing you to connect with others, and you're co-creating, a happy experience, and you're turning that spark into a flame, and it's becoming a gratifying situation. So again, nothing to worry about there. All positive cards coming through on that level. I will read the other cards on the advice toward the end. And I think what I'll do is speed this ahead to the Four of Clubs and the Jack of Hearts. The Jack of Hearts, I feel, is either you or someone around you. It could even be the partner that is coming through here. Because the Jack of Hearts is actually someone who's thought of as Cupid. So again, the Jack of Hearts is someone who is, on one front, could be wearing a uniform. On another front, it is someone who is, likes to have fun and takes the time to put his cares off to the side and really just enjoy, just somebody who leaves worries behind and just wants to enjoy themselves. And it is all about true romance with that Jack of Hearts. It's a long-lasting situation of love and joyful emotional contentment. And it is symbolized, of course, by the heart. So this is really a good-looking, winning, smile kind of person, somebody who, is quite attractive, turns heads, that kind of thing. Could be somebody who is fair-haired with blue eyes. But either way, somebody who really makes an impression anyway. And it also represents depth of feeling and emotion. It could also represent a Pisces, whether the Pisces energy is relevant to the person that we're talking about or just the characteristics of. But it is somebody who's a bit of a fickle lover and a seducer, or might have been in the past, bit of a thief of hearts, charmer, that kind of thing. But I believe that is a part of the past. It's just a part of the character. This is somebody who just is really charismatic type of a person. So, this is who I feel is... and again, I don't normally read a lot of the love aspects, but I feel this is a really strong person who's coming through in your reading that is going to be affecting your finances here. The Four of Clubs is a card that indicates that you're getting assistance. Whether you take it or not, you have the option available to you. I mean, this card does represent the fiery Aries sign. Doesn't have to be. Could be somebody who just has the qualities of an Aries. But it is somebody who is lively, creative, and impulsive here. So again, this could be you or someone around you. But it is somebody who's passionate and somebody who's, governed by the heart and likes or has a strong tendency to be the one that is regulating the relationship, or what's the word I'm looking for? Guides the relationships, not really the word I'm looking for, but kind of takes it in the direction, takes the lead in the direction that the relationship goes. So I do feel that this card with the four of clubs, as I said, is somebody who's pretty independent minded. But again, this could be you, because I do feel it's somebody who is emotionally holding back, has difficulty expressing themselves, and it's a card letting you know that you do have help, but you're refusing it. And that is, or at least the downside of that card would be someone who refuses to take the help. But the message is, you have assistance whether you need it or not. It's up to you to take it. So you can make this easier on yourself if you do take the assistance. So the next cards following that, I think I'll read the steampunk cards at the bottom before I go to the last part of it here, or before I get into the career and finance. So the cards that I'm going to pull the first three forward, that was the Tower, the Wheel of Fortune, and then there's also the Six of Wands. So those were three cards together, and clarifying, rather, the Tower. And the Tower moment generally is, of course, anything that's really unexpected. And it's not always a negative card. Sometimes it can be a positive card. And in this case it is, because it is followed by the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is a card of, things moving in a positive direction, because it is also followed by the Six of Wands. And the Six of Wands is a victory card. So again, where there is the Tower moment, where things are unexpected, and, things can usually be a little dysfunctional, because it's a quick uprooting, and we weren't expecting to have to change a belief system and all of those things, and our worldviews and, our lifestyles, because that's also part of some of those changes, that come through, sort of a repurposing of your life, and recognizing that you needed to change, or destroy some areas of your life that just weren't serving you. If they were just sort of dead in the water, those parts of yourself that were just floating without any real meaning, then it's time to get rid of that and move towards something that does bear some meaning and purpose and has some momentum to keep you moving forward. So, and again, that movement is coming through with the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune, as I said, is a card that lets you know that it's a random occurrence. So even though you've had an unexpected with the Tower, there's also a random occurrence coming through with the Wheel of Fortune. So it's more of a fated situation that's coming through. And it's about, the divine really is the one that's kind of processing that change. But again, with the Six of Wands, it does speak to a victory, and, it's a positive change. And I do believe that maybe this was an unexpected proposal for someone that they weren't expecting, given a negative past, something along that line. When I say negative past, maybe something that just, they just hadn't fully worked through. And so because it wasn't completely resolved, it seemed a little unexpected. But again, with the Tower moment and the Wheel of Fortune, it really is a positive combination, that the change will be positive here. And it's even more reinforced and significant with the Six of Wands. So that is the victory card there. Okay, so either way, enough on that one. And moving on to the Ten of Wands. You've got the Ten of Wands and the Emperor. So wands, of course, are about action and fiery activity. Sometimes it can represent strong emotions, anger, that kind of thing. And because this Ten of Wands is coupled with the Emperor, I do feel that there is some level of burden, because the Ten of Wands does speak to that. So the Ten of Wands with the Emperor, is really a struggle with a situation. So there's some kind of weight happening here. And whether it's this person who's the Emperor being an authority, whether it's a father figure that's around, or whether or not there's this person who's guiding the relationship that's the charmer, maybe they're coming through as the person who's dominating or getting angry and hot-tempered because they're overwhelmed with the responsibility of something that's coming through regarding this celebration or this business or this wedding or whatever it is. But it can be taken in a couple of different lights, as I say. I mean, the Emperor with that Ten of Wands can indicate someone who is too overwhelmed with duties. Could be a father figure, that somebody's looking after a father figure and feeling overwhelmed by that. It could also represent, a hot-headed, rage or temper coming from this Emperor, this father figure, somebody maybe who doesn't agree with the marriage or something along that line. I'm not really sure how to take that yet, but it's either way. It could also indicate somebody who might have had a rage problem in the past that is now able to control their emotions or regulate it better. They can manage those emotions. So maybe that was part of the past or the history that the two of you shared in business or personal relationship. So those are the cards that I have for just general energies for the month. And I'm going to hop right into the at the very end, I'll read the 3 Archangel Power Tarot cards as advice. But for the moment, we'll just get right into the tarot on career and finance. So again, 5 of Wands coupled with the 6 of Pentacles. So this is relating around money for sure. There's a fair number of swords and pentacles in this reading, meaning that there's some conflicts. Maybe some sharp words as well going on. Some arguments for sure. It's starting out again from the 18th to the end of May with some kind of battle going on here. So with the 5 of Wands, I mean, this could indicate a combative personality. This could be, somebody who's struggling or who feels that the world is against them. This could also indicate, somebody who has some inner conflicts about, maybe the togetherness aspect, whether in this partnership or this business or this personal relationship. But either way, there is some ongoing arguments and some power struggles going on here with that card. So I do feel it is for sure some kind of power struggle. Somebody is trying, it's clash of personalities, something along that line. If it is related to love, it's just a lot of negativity that's attached to it. There could even be a competition in love, and there's not really a side that's been chosen necessarily. It's just that there's quarrels and a battle for the upper hand. But either way, it's just a call to try to correct that balance and clarify what you're actually quarreling over. It's a frustrating circumstance that could very well be related to the money, as I said, because the 6 of Pentacles is the clarifier. And normally a 6 of Pentacles is a card of reciprocity and a sharing, but it's also a card of reconciliation. So maybe something around that reconciliation is posing an issue. But it is, a card of kind of a karmic situation as well that could be going on there. Maybe somebody's not good with money and the other person is, and that could be causing some of that exchange of tempers. It could represent some issues around security. Maybe one person feels more secure than another. But when there's 2 5s in a reading, and there is with the 5 of Swords and the 5 of Wands, it is a heated discussion, and there's definitely tempers flying because of the fiery nature of the Wands, but also some harsh words that are being stated with with the swords. So again, there's some tension going on here with trying to find that balance. But normally with the Six of Pentacles, it does try to balance it out, and it is a positive card. But I feel that, and maybe you will get to that at some point here, because both of these fives are clarified with, positive cards. But I do still feel it is around some kind of reconciliation and some kind of imbalance with the money situation. So the Five of Swords, as I said, it's a win. So somebody but it's a win, but with some kind of a sacrifice. There's something that's kind of lost here. So there is some kind of a limitation on this, or there's a no-win situation. So, there's a battle going on, but nobody's really feeling like they're winning, because you're kind of locked heads. You've locked heads. So you're not able to really move ahead and progress. And just looking ahead here to see what the other pentacles were, I do feel that it has something to do with a third party's interference. And again, it doesn't have to be, a third party in terms of another person coming in a love sense. I feel this has something to do with somebody maybe overstating an opinion, or over involved on how money should be spent, or trying to dominate or control the organization of some sort, in business or in, partnership of some sort. But there's a challenge either way. And sorry, it does represent some kind of need for change and some kind of order of things changing. So things are a little unexpected and chaotic at this time. But despite that mental struggle that's going on as well, and the inner battle, it is still followed by the Ace of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles is really a card letting you know that the universe is coming through with some help here. It is a sign of prosperity or reward of some sort, materialistic reward. It's about projects that are starting to, get going. And so it's some kind of a new beginning here. So even though there's a struggle and there's some kind of reconciliation of sorts, there is a new beginning that's following here, and it's a better thing that's moving ahead. The conflict, I feel, was partly self-sabotage with the Eight, but again, eights are about overcoming obstacles, and it's really self-imposed restrictions with the Eight of Swords there. But lots of conflict. So somebody's feeling lots of conflict with the Eight of Swords and the Three of Swords. So again, it could speak to a boring job or no job, or feeling like there's not enough, or, vulnerable, victimized, any of those things. Somebody who's feeling like they're on their guard, because it's also followed by being on your guard here. Somebody could feel that their hands are tied. They're not able to think for themselves, or get involved with, because they feel like there's some kind of a puppet. Somebody's too dominant in the situation, which is followed by the Emperor and the High Priestess. So somebody's feeling stuck in this position, and it could be a lack of direction or restriction, or some kind of codependency, which I feel it is a codependency with the Three of Swords involved. So again, could be manipulation of some sort on there in that situation as well. But again, it can be overcome with logic. When there's that much emotional energy and clash. But again, it's something feeling like it's not working out, but the universe is giving you a new beginning here. So moving past that, somebody's on the defense with the Nine of Wands, as I mentioned. It doesn't mean it's completely stopping the situation from going forward. The Nine of Wands is really a situation of being prepared to act, and somebody who is still feeling vulnerable, but and suspicious and all of that. But they're retreating a little bit here, and they're being resourceful, and they're maintaining some boundaries here, which I feel is related to the Emperor and the Empress, or sorry, the High Priestess. So there's some secrets maybe still around this traditional situation. I feel it's some kind of a dominant energy, father figure coming through that is somehow impeding upon this traditional situation with the Hierophant. And sorry, it's probably not all that visible. I'm just going to move this over so you can see it. But the Hierophant, as I said, does represent tradition, and the High Priestess is oftentimes, secrets that are revolve around that. But the Hierophant is about, I mean, in other situations, it can revolve around higher learning and that kind of thing. But this is really about traditional rules. So I'll just pull this forward. But it is about traditional rules, and I just feel that it could also be somebody has a really established way of wanting to do things, and it's often without regard for someone else's thoughts. They're very conservative, really structured, traditional. Somebody who's fairly conservative. And again, it could speak to institutions. Maybe there's some issues around the place in which the business is run, or the place in which the marriage is being performed. But it does speak to even a corporation, large corporation or group. But it's normally a stable energy, but because of all the battles externally, I just feel that there is some issue around over control. And again, too, because there is the Emperor above there as well, I just feel that there's some over dominance. The Priestess is, somebody who, has a lot of secrets, and somebody who is also coming through as moody in terms of feelings and unresolved, feeling alone, very introspective at this time, and, in a place of pausing to reflect, but again, could be hiding some things as well. It is a protection card as well in the tarot, but it is about being responsible for your own actions and feelings, and the ability to forgive and tame that beast inside. It's a kind of a reactionary card. If just the way its placement, I feel that there's some boundaries. There's some boundaries with this card. So, okay, but moving on past that, again, I still feel that you're being protected here. The universe is still coming through with that extra help with the Ace of Pentacles. It's a gift that's being given. So financially, I feel there is some struggle around it. Maybe there's too much money that's going out for this business, too much money going out for this wedding, whatever it is. And there's definitely conflicts around it. But again, at the very end of this, I do feel there's clarity coming through and a new beginning, and that things are actually moving in your favor. So, overall, it will end on a positive note, despite the all of the indifference. So the Queen of Pentacles is really somebody who has a caring nature. So this one is at the far end here. I'm just going to put these together. So it's clarified by the Three of Pentacles, but with the Queen of Pentacles, this is really somebody who cares about her, her group, cares about her family. She's there for everybody. She's a really resourceful person. This could be you or somebody else coming through around you, but it's really somebody who's practical and realistic, and they tend to plan, and somebody who, likes to learn a lot about things. They're really solution oriented, and they're generally somebody who's fairly financially secure. And it does speak to money improving as well, and that, this is somebody who's prepared to work for it. It's not money that's given. It's just somebody who, does the work and knows how to apply the money in business. So could even speak to an entrepreneurial individual or somebody who's a healer, somebody who is, again, fairly secure with their money. And again, it's whatever security means to you. Security could be a boat and, $8 million to one person, but for somebody else, it might be, $5,000 or $10,000 in the bank, and that's secure enough for them, or just being able to meet all their bills month to month. So it really is a bit of a sliding scale there. So, but it is somebody who's ambitious and sets goals. So I don't feel that there's a cap on that person's financial situation, especially coming through with the Three of Pentacles, because the Three of Pentacles also speaks to getting group. It's able to manifest things in a group situation. So people are coming through to help. This is somebody who's aware of their potential with that Queen of Pentacles. And it's also somebody who is able to rely on their skill and their competence to get things done. Because this card tells you don't give up. This is a card that's, somebody's learning to get their skills together. It is, in terms of emotions, it's also about learning self-respect, that kind of thing, and somebody who's in a growing phase. But it also speaks to rewards and manifestation. And given that you did have manifestation at the beginning of the reading, Aquarius, I feel that you are also being told that, you have the ability to make this happen, and that you have a team of professionals or a team of people that are in your corner that are trying to help you. And whether you take that help or not is up to you. But it is perhaps a little bit of an intense period for you because this is a mastery card, really, one who is trying to meet their goals, and it's also another card of reconciliation. So again, whoever this is, whether it's in a business or in a relationship of sorts, there's cooperation, there's planning. This is some kind of material gain through planned teamwork. And so I would take the help. That's what I'm saying. Because there is going to be success with that. And especially too, because there's clarity coming through with that final card with the Ace of Swords, new beginnings. And it is also with a dominant energy with the Ace of Cups. So it's a feeling of being satisfied as well here. But the Ace of Swords in itself is about mental clarity, new challenge, new expressions, clarity, logic. It's just believing in yourself. You're taking action, cutting through all the confusion. You're asking the right questions, you're eager to learn, and you're starting something new here. So in terms of feelings, again, it's a victory. Right decisions are being made. It's somebody who's energetic and sharp, and the ability to create that destiny here with the Ace of Swords. So there's a triumph, seeing the truth. Ideas are coming through. All of that falls under this card here. And again, it's about opportunity and justice. So, and it's also about communication, because it is swords. So, and it's clear communication, and also because it is clarified with the King of Cups. The king is somebody who is an authority here. This is a really supportive person. So if it is, in fact, a person that's around you, it could represent this father figure that's trustworthy, or that you are reigning in your emotions, or somebody's reigning in their emotions, and they're starting to balance out their energy. Because this is really somebody who is a supportive, calm, takes a supportive, calm approach, and who's very responsible and has maturity, and just emotionally wise and balanced. So because it's very close to the Emperor, I would go so far as to say that it is that that this is a dominant person that is coming through to, I don't want to say end the project. It could be the end of a project in terms of business, but I feel it is something that it's a new beginning and the end of some old way, something you're done with. It's really a sign of good luck here. In a sense, it's a sign of good luck. So it is, again, somebody who's somebody who's stable and wise, but has the knowledge to be able to bring something to fruition. So I feel that that clarity has come through because it's coupled with the Ace of Swords. That clarity has come through, and whether again it's a person or just an indication that there's been a resolve, a finality of some sort. That's why I said end of project. Could be related to the business aspect, but there's some kind of finality with a king. And so I feel that something's been wrapped up and a decision's been made. So that is the end of the financial aspect. Again, lots of struggles around it, but there is gain coming. I'm not going to say huge amounts of gain yet because it's not really, it's based around teamwork. So it's really hard to say. And in part, it's because you need to accept that teamwork, and because you're so I feel it's you who's the independent person. Somebody's not struggling with taking the help, but again, it's some kind of new course of action that is required, especially because you've got the 2 5s, and I do feel that is coming through with the Ace of Pentacles, that new course of action is moving forward. With the 5 of Swords, it is about somebody who can be resentful, bitter, and brooding, and all of those things. But I do feel that the universe is offering you that gift, and there is with the Ace of Swords, that new beginning that's coming through. And again, a little bit of a struggle on what this part was here for me, because it is representative of a traditional relationship of sorts. But again, not sure if this is somebody that's coming through as a rich fellow, and there's maybe some kind of prenuptial situation. There's an argument over the money, or if it is someone who is a soulmate who's very dominating, and is trying to over control a situation or has control issues. But I do feel it is a relationship between an older person and a younger person. Could be a relationship between a father and a daughter where there's some control issues, or even in terms of a business, an older person and a younger person where, around that traditional relationship, a corporation, business, marriage, whatever the Hierophant stands for, because it does have kind of a broader meaning in terms of what tradition is. But again, I just feel like the situation is really one about some kind of traditional structure that's having to be discussed anyway, having to be thought about in a new way through cooperation. With the 3 of Pentacles, there has to be some form of cooperation, some kind of new way of changing perspective on it is what I'm getting at here. But anyway, outside of that, and again, it could even speak to money coming in, from someone else that is maybe parents are giving money to this project, this business, or somebody is giving money and they want more control over the situation. Again, just it's a little hard to tell at this point because I don't really do it as a love reading. It is more on a business basis, but there is a lot of elements that came through that did speak to some emotional situation. Okay, so outside of that, just going to finish it off here with the last 3 cards, which is the High Priestess and Change Your Life and New Beginnings. So again, with the High Priestess card, it speaks to powerful psychic insights, reflection, and meditation that provides valuable information and to be at peace. So again, the High Priestess is, really a card of, can be speaking to, you did get this a couple of times in the reading again too here, so it is actually standing out in this reading. So the answers that you seek are within you with this card. It's about emotional situations that are providing some great insight, and you can rely on those insights. It may come to you through dreams. It might come to you in other synchronicities. Some people it is, a symbol of some sort that resonates with them. finding money on the street that, lets them know they're on the right track, whatever it is. But it's letting you know that there are your intuitive nature is going to help you to get through this emotional situation. So be open to that enlightenment. It's not a time for action. It's really a time for reflection is what the card speaks to. So don't push through. Just assess the situation before you have any kind of response. And then you've got change your life. So again, changing your life means a sudden revelation that offers freedom, breaking free of procrastination, embrace the opportunities that change brings. So things are starting to become crystal clear. And again, because you had the Ace of Swords, things are becoming more clear toward the end, at the very end of May. And it is about you changing your life, leaving behind old ideas or old belief systems or ways of doing things that are just stale, dated. Again, this could be in terms of business, leaving old ideas behind. Change is inevitable. So you are asked to grow and evolve here with this card, embrace this new direction, and that your life is going to be liberated and exciting because you're going through this transformation. But you're not having to go through it alone. Again, you had the Three of Pentacles, which indicated it had to be teamwork, enable for this transformation to be successful. And then it brings about a new beginning, which is the starting of a new life and finding your purpose, a forgiving and compassionate review of the past. So whether this is a reconciliation of a business or reconciliation of a family situation or reconciliation of, a coupleship, a partnership of some sort in terms on a personal level, you're just being asked to renew your dedication to that life purpose and, start this new beginning, make the changes that are moving you in the direction that you need, and, take it on with confidence, knowing that you are making the right decisions. And it does even speak to favorable outcomes in terms of legal matters or tests or examinations, anything like that. But you're answering some kind of a call here with this card. You're starting a new life, there's perfect clarity, and you have unlimited opportunities with this new beginning. So definitely ending on a really positive note. So even though there's some kind of battle going on, you're coming out of this with a whole new mindset to go forward. So again, this was for the month of May 18th on to the end of May for Aquarius. We'll see you in June. Stay safe.